What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Grow, Live, Dream. I'm your boy, LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T. Hutton, the motivator. And today we're going to be talking about time is on your side. Yes, it is. What up, T. Hutton? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? I'm excited about today. Get a chance to talk about time. You know, that's one of my favorite subjects. It's one of my hangups and one of my what they call stuck points. So,
Yeah.
time is so important. So, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm ready to jump right into it.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, actually, before we do that, let me go ahead and say to everybody that's watching, we appreciate you for joining in. Make sure that you comment, like, share to absolutely everybody. Let them know that they need to go ahead and jump on here because we're going to be giving and spilling some nuggets that's going to change some lives. Go ahead, T. Hutton, jump right in, brother.
Man, jumping right in is, do you have the time? I want to start off with a quote from Miles Davis, and he says, time isn't the main thing, it's the only thing. And if you think about that, what does time really mean to you? Like, do you have the time? It's imperative to understand that question. Because, see, time is the only true scarce resource we have. So you can lose money, you can lose a lot of different things, but the one thing you can't get back is your time. So when we ask, do you have the time? I know oftentimes you're walking. I was in the store yesterday and a couple walked up to me and they say, do you have the time, sir? Now, I was kind of interested about the fact because everybody has a cell phone nowadays. So I'm like, you don't have access. I do have a watch on, but you don't have access to your phone. But the fact of the matter is this something people oftentimes would say back in the day that, like, do you have the time? Because not everybody wore a watch. So not everybody had access to the time. So I ask you is, do you have the time?
Man, I absolutely love it that we're getting ready to talk about this particular subject because there's a lot of people that take time for granted. There's a lot of people take time for granted. I was actually just speaking with somebody yesterday, and I was saying that old time saying that, tomorrow's not promised, right? Tomorrow's not promised, right? So we got to make sure that we do best by the time that we have right here, right now. Make sure that we understand where we're putting that time. So that's what I want to ask everybody. Like, do you take inventory of what you're doing with your time? How much positive energy or positive time are you putting towards your future? How much positive time are you putting towards your legacy? Same thing with the negative things that are in your life. How much time are you putting towards the demise of your dreams? How much time are you putting there? And that's why this particular subject is going to be so important. And we're going to rock this thing out, man. I'm excited about you guys being on, man. Make sure you guys take notes.
Make sure you take notes because today is going to be really a learning time period for you. Because today we're going to be talking about, being a good steward, whether you are investing or are you being wasteful. See, your real opportunity to invest is not just your money, but it's your time. Because you've heard it say, since time is money. We've all heard that saying so many times before. Do we really know what that means? Oftentimes we think about time being money, we think of an hourly rate. How much do you get paid an hour? It's funny, people are like, I'm not hourly, I'm salary. Well, guess what? Somebody else is leveraging your time. And what you once thought was a good thing because you're a salary, and no matter how many hours you work or how many hours you don't work, you get paid the same amount of money. It can be a benefit to you in one sense, but then it can be a detriment to you in another sense. Let me go a step further and explain this to you. You can be an hourly employee and make $100,000 a year. You like, man, I make 7 figures, bro. I'm sure I make $100K. But the fact of the matter is you work so many hours that $100,000 ain't worth but $10, $12, $15 an hour.
Say it.
And there's somebody making $20 an hour that don't make $100K, but their time has a higher value than your time. But you don't see it because the way we perceive it. See, when we're talking about investing your time, when we're talking about being wasteful with your time, are you properly investing your time? LeVar made a statement earlier about, are you investing towards your future? Are you spending time positively towards your future? Are you putting time towards where you don't want to see yourself? Are you going the wrong direction? Because see, as you invest this time, that time has a yield. It has a return on your investment.
Hmm. And you know what the interesting thing about it is when we start talking about investing in time, it's time in invested to our physical and a time invested into our mental, right? I was speaking with a young lady, dope young lady, but we were talking about a training that she had, and she said that over the span of a day, we have over 40 million thoughts going through our head. How many of those thoughts are normally put towards like the conscious, right? And it was only like 40. It was stupid. It was a stupid small number, right? So what that prompted me, instead of being like, oh my God, like we don't have any chance of getting where we need to go. What that prompted me to say is that with the time that I do have, I got to make sure that I'm investing as much positive energy into my conscious, in my conscious mind, right? So may be, me speaking positive affirmations into my life. Maybe me spending time doing that, as much time as possible. Maybe me spending as much time as possible into reading books. Right. This is positive time that you're putting and you're adding. That way you're making sure that you're getting what you need to in order to move forward, in order to better yourself.
And I like what you said about that, spending that positive time, because see, that's the thing about your time. It's an investment, but it's also spending. See that one phrase right there. When we regularly think about spending, we know that's something that goes out and oftentimes doesn't return. See, a lot of time, a lot of things that go on with us is we're doing a lot of spending of our time, but we're not investing our time. Or are we spending our time on wasteful things that do not lead us to the path or down the alley of where we want to go? Or are we investing our time that helps us get closer to our goals? Because see, when you invest, there's a return. Yeah. When you spend, you get something in the moment, but it doesn't really bring anything back over the longevity of your life. Here's an example. You can spend money to go do something, but you invest time to create memories. So you can spend the money to do something, but did it create a memory? Oh, when you typically invest your time, you are creating memories, things that will go with you to the future.
And how much time, T. Hutton, do you suggest? Because there's so many different people that, they're putting their time in different areas, right? They're putting their time in different areas, but you just said something that was huge, right? Putting time into memories, creating memories, right? How many of you guys are actually intentional about putting time into creating memories in your life? Y'all know we talk about everything. It can be business, it can be life, it can be whatever it may be. But how much time are you putting into investing intentionally into creating memories with your loved ones, your husband, your significant other, whatever it may be, your children, right? Putting the time that you need to make sure you're creating those memories so that at the end of the day, they have those memories in their mind. They have their memories in their life. Right? How much time are you putting towards showing them even business? Like later on, they'd be like, man, I remember I used to sit down and talk to my mom about investing, to talk to my friend about investing, to talk to my auntie about investing. How much time do you put into that stuff?
I think what we need to do is to really kind of go into the depths of that, because oftentimes we don't look at our time as a way of investing.
Right.
So it's interesting when you talk about investing, because you hear investors say all the time, you have to diversify, diversify. Well, when you start thinking about your actual time, when you diversify your time, when you're investing your time, how do you break that down? What's the breakdown of that? What do you recommend as the breakdown, LeVar? Like for you personally, when you say your life and you say I'm investing my time, what is your breakdown between the time you spend with your sons, the time you spend with those little kings, and the time that you spend building the legacy, the time that you spend developing self? Like what is those kind of breakdown? Is there like a ratio that you kind of break down for the day, or how do you kind of break down your day?
Well, you really just kind of go off the order of importance, really, to be honest with you. What are your goals? What are your goals? The long term the long term of being able to pour into even your babies, right? Making sure that you're actually doing that, because we actually sometimes get off pace with that. And I've done that, right? I've done that in my life where I'm so busy with what I was wanting to do, was so busy with wanting to build a legacy, for them, that maybe I didn't spend the time with them that I needed to. If you've been to that place and you guys are watching, go ahead and put a 7 in the chat. If you've been to a particular place to where you were so focused that sometimes you lost track of some of the things that you may have should be doing, right? So it's really all about just taking inventory of the importance of those things that you need to give time to, right? How much time do you want to give towards your dreams? What's up, Gavin Jordan? How you doing, my brother? How much time do you want to put towards your dreams? We know that in order for you to get to where you need to go, there's going to be some level of sacrifice, right? There's going to be some level of sacrifice, right? But are you going to do your best to make sure that in that level of sacrifice that you have some type of fight for those things that you need to give time to as well, right? So I always try to make sure when I wake up in the morning, I give as much time as possible to my mindset. I give as much time as possible to my mindset to get myself going. I was having a conversation yesterday just about when I wake up in the morning, like I'm excited. I got to set the tone for the day. I got to make sure that I'm pouring into myself first thing in the morning, right? And then from there, everything just kind of falls in line. But you got to make sure that you schedule it in. You got to make sure you have it scheduled in. That way you can put the time where you need to put the time. How about yourself, Tia?
That last portion of things you just said about scheduling, and for myself, that's the primary thing for me. I'll be honest with you, bro. My phone chime, ding, 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 and it's literally me scheduling my time, scheduling my day. Like I may not always go exactly with the chimes. I may not start exactly when the chime says start, but it's that daily reminder to myself, like, hey, 7 a.m. You know what I'm saying? It's scheduled. Workout, walk. Do something, get up, make them happen. You know what I'm saying? 8:30, stock market opens. Be in front of the computer, be ready. You know what I mean? 11 o'clock, time to get a snack. Because if you don't pay attention, time to get away from you, you won't eat. I didn't eat till like 4 p.m. yesterday, bro. I didn't eat breakfast or nothing. I didn't eat till 4 p.m. And we know that's outside my norm. So, but my point in saying that is oftentimes we need to schedule in. We must be intentional about our day. We have to take an inventory. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. There's 24 hours in a day. How are we spending each of these moments? Are we keeping an account of this? We talked about a time logger this last episode before this one. And we talked about being able to look at your schedule and seeing where your time is going. Is there a time draw somewhere that you're unaware of? Well, once we figure out how much time we've actually spent doing each thing, it's now time for us to organize it. That's why today we're talking about time. That's why we're telling you that time matters. I remember being at University of Phoenix and I had got an award, and the award was a clock. And you got a chance to inscribe on the clock what you wanted on the clock. And on that clock, I put on there the only time that matters is now. Because see, oftentimes we'll go back and start to look back at our life and wonder what things went wrong, trying to figure out how to go back and fix things. But it's only in the time that matters when we realize that we have to worry about now. We can't change the past. They say it's bad health for you to look at the past and try to change the past. But if we was to stay focused in this moment and looking forward, how can we fix? Now, don't get me wrong. You should learn from your past. Learn what got you off track. Learn what derailed you. So when you start making this schedule so you can properly invest your time, it's a good schedule. It actually takes into account different things. It's flexible. It allows you to bend but not break the schedule.
But what if I want to be what if I want to be all over the place with my time though? What if I don't want to schedule? You know what? And by the way, what's up, Letitia? How you doing, Queen? What's happening? Go ahead. Go ahead.
The good news about that is this: if you don't want to schedule, it's okay. You just don't also want a direction. Because you can go without a schedule, and then you'll see that like I can't never seem to get anything done. You mentioned earlier about prioritizing. what happens is without a schedule, you don't have a triage of your life. You don't have a priority. So oftentimes things get half done. Things doesn't never get completed. And then you wonder where your day went.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look back, go ahead.
No, I'm about to be. No, I was just saying, best believe it. I was just looking at what, Gavin said. He said, for me, while it's a struggle of balance between career, family, and achieving dreams that set up my children for success, I do remember it is the little things that matter. I always schedule the time for the little things. My grind don't stop in the legacy building. And that's real. That's 100%. The grind don't stop. And in reality, in the grind, there's going to be a level of sacrifice always.
Yes.
And getting where you want to go and building the legacy that you want, getting to the dreams that you want, there's going to be a level of sacrifice always, right? And that's why we have to look at where we want the sacrifice to be, right? That's the reason why we have to schedule things out, because if you don't schedule things out, you'll find yourself sacrificing the wrong things.
Or if you or you don't have that schedule, if you want your life to be all over the place, what you're going to find yourself doing is sacrificing more. That's the problem with not having that schedule. You're going to find yourself sacrificing more. And the worst part about it is you're going to be sacrificing things that you never intended to sacrifice. Things that you shouldn't be sacrificing because you was unwilling to create a schedule.
Come on now. You just
like that's the reality of it. Like if we actually take the time to really think about it, like how many times, you heard, I remember growing up, I used to hear people say this all the time. You're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. You take it from one pocket and you put it in the other pocket, but you never create any more. From moving it from your right pocket to your left pocket, you don't create any more time. So you're supposed to do something at 3 p.m. and then you didn't do it. And then you did something at 5 p.m. that you could have done at 3 p.m. And then you're like, well, I'll get back to the 5 p.m. thing later. It doesn't. And then the next
day, you also see a lot of people that are wanting to sacrifice, that are wanting to do certain things, saying they don't have enough time to do certain things, but yet they're not doing the inventory where they're putting their time. Whereas they took time away from, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, right? Take a little bit of time away from, maybe TV, right? And put that time, give that time to those things that you don't want to sacrifice, right? The things that you want to have a little bit more time, right? Start looking at your day and seeing, okay, well, that right there, that actually doesn't even work well with where I'm going right now. That don't work well with where I'm going right now. So let me go ahead and drop that off right now. And I'm going to give that time over here.
Hey, you know what's funny? I used to work in sales, right? Automotive sales. And one thing we used to do as sales tactics is we'll say, okay, it looks like we're about $15, $20 away from your car note that you want to be at, right? And what we would say is we'll ask questions about them the whole time we're talking. Like, do you drink coffee, man? You want a coffee? Yeah, man, you drink Starbucks? Cool. Yeah, I drink Starbucks. How often you drink Starbucks? I don't know, 3-4 times a week. Oh, great. So what I just did was create an extra $21 in your budget because I know a couple of Starbucks are between $5 to $7. So when I look at your budget and we get to the end of the month and we say, hey, look, we're $60 away from it. You drinking Starbucks 4 times, 4 times a week and 4 weeks out the month. I already know you got an extra $28 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if we drink a little bit less Starbucks, you can be in the vehicle you want to be in. Mm-hmm. Let me make it real for you. If you watch a little less TV, you can invest the time you want to in developing your income so you can have more time to spend with your family. What's real important for you? Is it important? Watch this. I got a speech I did a while back, best friend. It's called Reality TV, right?
Okay.
And it says in the speech, it says you can either watch somebody else living their reality or you can go live your own reality. Because too often times we're spending too much time watching somebody else live what society says is reality when we're not living our own reality. So you'll spend 2 hours a day watching somebody else live their best life because you're only willing to put those 2 hours a day into developing yourself to live your best life.
Hey, you know what? The funny thing is that, and you'll be excited and give more energy to watching that than what you're giving to your own.
Yeah.
You'll be more excited, like, oh, girl, did you see that? Oh, I can't. No, don't do that. Oh my God, wow.
I'm waiting on the reunion. I'm waiting on the reunion. The reunion come on Thursday, man. I ain't doing nothing on Thursday.
Right. But what do you really want to sacrifice? What do you really want to sacrifice? For me, like relationships are awesome, but if that relationship doesn't bring me, let me think of that word. If it don't bring me substance, if that relationship is not bringing me substance, and when I say relationships, I'm not talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm talking about any relationship in general. If it's not bringing me substance and helping me get to where I need to go, then that may be something I need to sacrifice in a season. Notice what I said. It may be something I need to sacrifice in a season, right? I didn't say that I have to completely leave people alone and I don't want to deal with you ever. It just means like right now I can do something else with that time. Right now, the time that I'm giving you is something I can listen. T. Hutton is like, no, I want to get rid of it forever.
Boy, look, you already knew you seen my face. I was like, well, let's be honest. Some of these people you might need to get rid of forever.
Right. So, hey, look,
I'm gonna just put it out there. Like some of these people are a draw on your time. They are draw on your life. They are draw on your energy, and you need to get rid of them forever.
But you know what? Let me tell you, depending on who these people are, sometimes you have to get away from them for a season in order for you to get that thick skin in order to be able to deal with these particular types of individuals, because some of these people be family, right? Some of these people you may want to have some type of relationship with, right? Not everybody is somebody who you can just throw off to the wind. Not everybody is that, right? Some people are people that we actually care about, right? And sometimes the substance part of it is not necessarily they bad people. Sometimes it's just I don't get nothing here, right? I don't get anything here. This right here is not helping me get to where I deserve to be, right? Make sense?
So what I would say is this to that. I would say that for me, when I look at it like that, some people you can love from afar, because you're far from loving. And what I mean by far from loving is you don't have the same mindset. You're when you triaged your life, they didn't make the same decisions that you made. You made sacrifices for a reason. And the reason you made a sacrifice is because you're headed a direction. So your time has a little bit more value than their time does for them. So when you look at your 24-hour day, you say, I have 24 hours to make this happen. When they look at that 24-hour day, they say, well, if it happens, it happens. See, it's a difference between having to make something happen and wanting something to happen. A lot of people are walking around wanting things to go right in their life, but they're not willing to make them go right. I remember
say it again, please. Don't go by. Don't skim by that. Say that one more time.
A lot of people are wanting things to happen instead of making things happen.
Boom.
I've heard it said that if you are looking for to knock on the door opportunity and there's no door opportunity there, then build one.
Preach, preacher.
You have to build an opportunity. If the opportunity is not there, create it yourself. I was talking to a group of speakers and they were saying, hey man, we don't have a platform to speak on. I say, well, let's create a platform. They say, what is that?
Create a platform.
It's not that simple. I say, why isn't it? Because if you have something that people need to hear, then create the platform. Because at the end of the day, change only comes when you decide you're gonna make that change. Like just that's the reality of how life works. If you're unwilling to make the sacrifice for you, you're unwilling to invest your time properly, then let me say it like this. Here's a quote. It says, the common man is not concerned about the passage of time. The man that is talented is driven by it. Let me say that again. The common man is not concerned about the passage of time, but the man of talent is driven by it. So the point of that is that if you're driven to get to a location, you are definitely concentrating on time. You're looking at your 100%. Time every day.
100%. I mean, I love that thought process. A man of many talents is driven by it. Is driven by it because they know that no matter what, time is going to be a thing. Time is going to be a thing. See, a lot of people, when you think about the common man, that's not going out and getting where they need to go, what do most people do? They go to work, they come home, and they throw their time aimlessly to the wind. Right? Time go by like this because they on TV, like they on telephone, like they doing all kinds of different things.
You heard me out gaming. I'm a gamer. I'll be honest with you. How much time you lose gaming? Hey, watch this. If you're a gamer If you get a chance, if you're in the chat, you're a gamer. I want you to put a 1 because you're a gamer and you love it. I love it. Now, what I want you to do when you get a chance this evening, log in, pull up your PlayStation, your Xbox, and look at how much time you've spent gaming. Look at the amount of hours it says time played. It'll tell you exactly how much time you've played. Look at it. See how much time you played. And then do me a favor. Go look at a college degree and see how much time is required to actually get a degree. You can pull it up on Google. Google will tell you how many hours spent in the classroom is required to get a degree. Social degree, bachelor degree, master's degree. And look how close you can be to earning the degree if you actually put the time and attention into actually working on the education as that you spend on a video game.
That's going to blow some people's mind away. Because we don't take inventory of our day, because we're going to take inventory of where we put in our time, we don't realize how much time we have.
No, we don't.
We don't realize how much time we have. When you just said what you just said, that's going to be some people that are going to take a look at that. They're going to be like, oh, man. But you know what? It's only because they were excited about playing that game. They were excited about playing that game. But I'm going to be a little bit more in your face to say, you're right. You were more excited about that game than you were about your dreams. You were more excited about that thing that you're doing than you were excited about getting where you needed to go. You were more excited about that than you were about that relationship that you're in. You were more excited about that than those other things. And then you wonder why those other things fall through the cracks. Pardon me. Do you have the time? You best believe you do.
And then we hear it so much though, like, man, I ain't got the time. Dude, I just don't have the time to do it. I want to do it, but I don't have the time to do it. I want this and I want that, and I really got to have this and I really got to have that, but I don't have the time to get there. I don't have the time to do it. Like, you know, how do you have all the time you have? It's like, well, you know, we got the same 24 hours. Reality. Let me tell you something. Warren Buffett has the same 24 hours you have. LeVar Robinson has the same 24 hours you have. T. Hutton the Motivator has the same 24 hours you have. Everyone has the same 24 hours. Is what do you do in that time? Henry Thoreau said it's not about just going about just being busy is not enough. Is what are you being busy about? They say time flies, but you're the pilot. So you choose the direction in which your time flies in.
Yeah.
You know, are you on board? Are you just a passenger on your vessel? We talked about that vessel. Or are you a passenger on this plane? Are you passenger 57? Are you just riding the plane? Are you willing to take charge? Let's be honest. Like, life is about taking charge of life. You can't sit by idly. There's no reason you should be a co-star in your own movie. Let me say that again. You shouldn't co-star in your own life.
Jesus.
There's too many people walking around with a supporting role in their own life.
Supporting role? What? You don't even got enough skin in the fight in your own life. That's crazy.
They got a supporting role, LeVar. Like, you know, I just step in, make a couple of lines. Ha, ha, ha. I'm the comedy relief in my own life. No. No, I'm not. I'm the protagonist. This is about me. I'm going to be selfish. This is about me. It's my life. I should be the star in my show. Like, why would I? I'm going to star in it. I'm going to direct it. You know, something like the Eddie Murphy movies. He got 17 roles in his own movie. He directed it. That's how I'm going to be in my life.
But you know, a lot of people don't realize that sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to be selfish for yourself. Sometimes you have to consider yourself first. And I don't really like to call that selfish, but reality is this. You have to consider yourself first. You have to consider where you're going. Before you start adding all these extra things and saying yes to people and thinning out your time, and you barely have any time because you keep giving your time to things and places and things that don't deserve it, you got to consider yourself. You got to consider where you're going.
Look, I'm gonna start my closeout, and I'm gonna say this to you: time equals life. Therefore, if you waste your time, then you waste your life. If you master your time, then you master your life. That's reality. That's not a perspective. That's not subjective. That's reality. Because you only get one life, and you have to be willing to master that life. You only get a certain amount of time, a limited amount of time. You have to be willing to master that amount of time. So when I ask you, do you have the time? I'll give you the answer to it. The correct answer is yes. I have the time. I have the time to work on my dreams. I have the time to develop myself. If I want to become the best me possible, then I must develop that person. If you want to develop the best you possible, you have to be willing to develop that person. You have the time. That's the right answer. Now, all I need you to do is figure out where the time is and begin to invest it correctly. Triage your life. See what those things are of most importance to you and invest your time into that. Because I can tell you now, what's most important to you is what's going to get most of your time. It's not what you say what's most important. If you really want to see what's most important in your life, see where it's most of your time is going. And it's at that point you can either choose to invest more time or reallocate your time. Reallocate your time towards your dream. Reallocate your time towards your family. Reallocate your time towards your physical health, your mental health, your self-health, your emotional health. Develop the person that you want to be now. Thanks.
Man, listen, we're gonna go ahead and drop Mike, man, and I'm gonna end by just saying this. Listen, there's a quote that I've looked at for years now, and I absolutely love this quote. It says, "Time is like a river; you cannot touch the same water twice, because the flow that passed will never pass again." Enjoy every moment of it. So we got to make sure that every piece of time, you got to make sure you're doing right by it. Make sure you're doing right by it. Make sure you're being intentional about your life. Be intentional about where you're going. Yes, you do have the time. When you start lying to yourself and saying that you don't, that's you pretty much saying I'm defeated. You're pretty much saying there's no way for me to get to where I need to go. That's you pretty much saying I have to wait until I do have the time in order to do it instead of making it. Make that time. Figure out where you're giving time away and use that time towards your dreams. Use that time towards getting to where you deserve to be, because guess what? You deserve it. You deserve it, right? Make sure that you remind yourself of that. Remind yourself of that every day. Remember what those goals are. Remember where you're attempting to go, and continue looking around and inventorying what's around you that's stopping you from putting the time that you need into those things. We appreciate you guys taking the time out your schedule, as always, to jump on Grow, Live, Dream. Listen, we're excited about what's to come. We're excited about the people that stay connected, because what we're building is something special. And it's just something that's giving back to those that want something better out of life and want to build something special. Once again, my name is LeVar Robinson, and this is my brother T Hutton, the Motivator. And we gonna jump up out here, y'all. Y'all have yourself a wonderful day. This is Grow, Live, Dream.